Most people fear death, but what if the true horror was being declared dead while still alive? This chilling story happened in Venezuela, and it centers around a man named Carlos Camejo, a 33-year-old who survived what most people wouldn't even believe possible. In 2007, Carlos was involved in a terrible car accident that left him unconscious and seriously injured. Emergency responders rushed to the scene, but upon arrival at the hospital, doctors made a terrifying mistake. They pronounced him dead. Welcome. If you are new here, do not forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more untold legends. Without any further forgetting assessment or monitoring, his body was immediately sent to the morgue, where preparations for an autopsy began. The medical team, unaware of the horrific error, began to work on what they thought was a corpse. But something unusual happened. As they started to make an incision on Carlos's face, blood began to ooze from the wound, something impossible if the body were truly dead. Shocked, the doctors paused. And then, Carlos screamed. The morgue staff were horrified. They were not dealing with a lifeless corpse. They were operating on a man who was very much alive. Carlos regained full consciousness, confused and in pain, with a deep, fresh incision on his face, a wound that would leave a lifelong scar. As the truth set in, the hospital had to confront a horrifying reality. Carlos had been mistakenly declared dead, subjected to an autopsy while still breathing, and had almost died not from the accident, but from the incompetence of the medical professionals who failed to double-check his vitals. To make the situation even more haunting, his wife had already arrived at the morgue to identify the body. Just as she was preparing herself to see her husband's lifeless remains, she heard shouting and confusion from within. Moments later, she learned that her husband was not only alive but had just woken up on the autopsy table. Carlos later described the experience as traumatic and surreal. He suffered both physical and emotional scars, but he also became a living legend, the man who was literally cut open while still alive. His story is a disturbing reminder of how fragile life is and how thin the line can be between death and life when human error is involved.